My friend thought it would be funny to mess with the McDonald's staff, but when he got arrested, he blamed us, and now he's trying to ruin our friend group. I'm 23, a guy, and I have a group of friends I've been close to since high school. Some have come and gone over the years, but there are about 6 of us who are still tight. Me, Yost, Ty, Ben, Liana, and Reichel. We get together pretty regularly, game nights, going to bars, the usual stuff. We send memes in the group chat. Nothing too crazy. Then there's Itan. He wasn't part of the original group, but he joined through Ty, who met him at work. Itan's 24, and at first he was cool, kind of loud, but funny. He always had a story to tell, always up for going out. He brought a new energy at first, but the more we got to know him, the more we realized something wasn't right. He was the kind of person who would laugh way too hard when someone fell down. He'd start arguments just for fun. He'd make jokes that weren't really jokes. He'd make everyone uncomfortable and then tell us to stop being so sensitive. That kind of person. We had a few conversations like, hey, chill out, but he always accused us of being too uptight. The incident happened about a month ago. We were coming back from a concert, all excited and a little drunk, except for Liana, who was the designated driver. It was late, maybe 1 a.m, and someone, I think it was Reichel, said they were hungry. So we all agreed to go to a McDonald's near the venue. Just your typical post-concert energy. Everyone laughing, talking about the show, no worries. Until Itan decided he wanted to be funny. We went inside and the place was pretty empty. Just a few workers behind the counter and one guy mopping. As soon as we walked in, Itan starts fake arguing with Ty like they were a couple, talking loudly about cheating. Who slept with who and why Ty is toxic. At first it was kind of funny, but it was also super awkward because the staff clearly just wanted to finish their shift. Then Itan takes it to the next level, walks up to the counter and starts yelling his order. I mean, not even words, just screams in a demonic voice, saying stuff like, I want the meaty delight and the saucy nuggets. The staff tells him to calm down. He drops to the floor and starts pretending to have a seizure. Ty's laughing, Ben's recording, and I'm just standing there thinking, what the hell is going on? Liana's horrified and begging him to stop. The guy who was mopping literally leaves the floor and goes behind the counter. Itan doesn't stop. He climbs up on the counter and starts chanting a made-up spell like he's summoning the McRib god. Then he pretends to pee behind the register like he's actually pulling down his pants. He didn't actually pull them down, but it looked real. That's when the manager comes out and says they've called the police. We all immediately started telling him to stop. Ty tries to pull him down. Reichel says, dude, they're not kidding, we gotta go. Itan just laughs and says, come on, it's just a joke. We run for the door, but it's too late. The police car arrives before we're even in the parking lot. Itan tries to run, slips on the curb, and falls flat on his face. They handcuff him and put him in the car while he's still yelling about his rights and how he's being kidnapped by the Ronald McDonald stormtroopers. We're all standing there in shock. Like, what just happened? The police talk to us, ask us what he was doing. They take our statements. They're not mad at us, but they're clearly not amused. They ask if any of us were part of this. We say, no, we tried to stop him. They let us go. Itan's still yelling from the car, saying we're traitors. The next day, we all wake up to a novel of texts from Itan in the group chat, straight up unhinged. At first, it was like, ha ha, you guys really left me there. I thought we were friends. Then it changes. I can't believe you ratted me out to the cops. That's betrayal. And finally, you guys are dead to me. See what happens next. We didn't even know how to respond. Ty tries to calm him down, saying, dude, you arrested yourself. We didn't do anything. Itan responds with a voice message, ranting about how we could have de-escalated the situation or defended him and how we betrayed him. We all decide not to engage anymore. Ben mutes the chat. Reichel silences him. Liana blocks him outright. I just leave him on red at that point because I don't want to make things worse, but I'm already mentally checked out. None of us want drama, especially not from someone who thinks harassing people is funny. Then a few days go by and things get weirder. Ty texts me saying, hey, check Itan's Instagram. The guy posts a whole series of stories, like 10 slides, calling us out by name, saying we're fake friends, accusing Liana of using white tears. She's half Filipino. He says, cooperating with the police like a good bootlicker. He posts screenshots of our messages in the group chat, taken out of context, to make it look like we plan to abandon him for clout. The worst part is he tags us, and people believe him because, again, he's very charismatic online, always posting meme stories, has a good amount of followers, and knows how to manipulate things. Some acquaintances start DMing me asking, what's going on? and I'm caught between wanting to explain it and not wanting to make it more complicated. Then Liana texts us all and says, Itan showed up at my work. Not inside, but she saw him from the sidewalk watching from a bench. She works at a bookstore downtown, and the guy stayed there for like 45 minutes before leaving. She was so scared that she had her boss walk her to her car. We tell her to file a report. She does. It doesn't lead to anything, surprise, but at least it's on record. The group is officially done with him at this point. 100% done. Update 1. Well, yeah, I really thought this would calm down. I mean, Itan got arrested for acting like a psychopath at McDonald's. He embarrassed himself, got mad at us for not participating in his freak show, and then threw a tantrum. Great. I thought he'd block us, talk smack about us online for a few days, maybe try to salvage his image and move on. Nope. He's in a full-on psycho phase. A week after the McDonald's thing, at first it was just nonsense. He posted a super long Instagram story tagging Ty, Reichel, and me, calling us traitors and fake friends who sell you out for likes. He said we sided with the system and let him get kidnapped. Dude, you yelled at teenagers at McDonald's and acted like you were having a satanic meltdown. That's not being oppressed. That's being an idiot. Anyway, we ignored it all, didn't respond, didn't engage. He kept sending stuff like, "You're gonna regret this, and don't think this is over." I didn't reply. Then things started to get worse. One morning, Reichel texts us saying, "One of you guys sent something to my work." We reply, "No." She received an email at the main office of her school. She teaches 3rd grade. It said that she supported publicly harassing people with mental health issues and that she laughed while someone was being assaulted. It also included her private Instagram account, which is locked, so someone was digging. The only person who could do that is Itan, and he knows where she works because we used to carpool together from her parking lot. She had to explain the whole McDonald's thing to the principal, which is insane. Then Ty discovers that someone's been leaving weird reviews on the bar where he DJs, saying that he encourages harassment and records people during psychotic episodes. I swear. One of the reviews literally said, "This man weaponizes the bass against the neurodivergent." I know it sounds fake. I wish it was, but it's still there. Then I get an email from a fake Gmail. It says, "I'm a bootlicking accomplice who laughs when their friend is abused by the police." Ends with, "I hope your boss sees this." Great, now it's my turn. I work remotely, so I don't have a boss who would care even if this got to him, but still, this is just the beginning. He's literally trying to mess with our jobs now because he made a fool of himself at a freaking fast food restaurant. Make it make sense. At this point, we're all on edge. We've all blocked him, reported the accounts, moved on, but he keeps creating new profiles and tagging acquaintances. He even created a fake Twitter account where he pretends to be a whistleblower, exposing us for being abusers of people with mental health issues. Dude, you talked satanically about chicken and screamed about being baptized in sauce. That's not a mental health problem. That's being an idiot. Then, last weekend, we were all at Reichel's house for a quiet night, just pizza and Mario Kart. It was the first time we'd all seen each other since the incident. We were finally laughing again, thinking that maybe the worst was over. The doorbell camera rings. She checks it and says, "Guys, Itan's outside. Totally serious." We all go to the window. He's across the street with a hoodie on, just standing there, not walking, not yelling, just staring at the house like it's the freaking purge. Ben asks, "Does anyone want to go out there?" We tell him no, obviously. Reichel calls the police. Itan doesn't even flinch. He just stays there until a police car arrives. Then he casually walks down the street like he's taking a night stroll. The police don't do anything. They say he wasn't trespassing, that he wasn't a threat, he was just acting weird. So now we have to wait until he does something for real. The vibe of the friend group is ruined. Reichel's terrified. Liana parks in random spots so he won't follow her home. Ty said he started sleeping with a bat next to his bed. None of us feel safe, and it's all because of a guy who couldn't handle the consequences of his own stupid behavior. I don't know what to do at this point. We're documenting everything in case we need a restraining order, but it's hard to prove intent when he's not directly threatening us, just being weird enough to make us lose our minds. Or at least that's what the lawyer said. Update 2. So, yeah, after the Ring camera incident at Reichel's, trademark now, that's what we call it, because if we don't laugh, we'll lose our minds. We tried to keep a low profile. No more group hangouts, no social media posts. We all stayed quiet, hoping that if we deprived him of attention, he'd get bored and move on. For a moment, it seemed to be working. A whole week went by without fake accounts, no DMs, no cryptic posts, tagging acquaintances. We even joked about it in the group chat, like maybe he finally got banned from the internet, or maybe he joined a cult and they sacrificed him. But 2 nights ago, I came home from work and found a folded piece of paper taped to my front door. It was typed, no name. It just said, "You still think I'm a joke. This is just the beginning." Just that direct. That's it. No signature, just a serial killer vibe that made my skin crawl. I live alone. I don't even post where I live. I never told Itan my address. I had to sit in my car for like 20 minutes before going inside, mentally going over all the conversations we've had, trying to remember if I ever mentioned any clues. Then I remembered months ago, we had a game night at my place once, and he came with Ty. That was the only time he's been to my apartment. He must have remembered the building or found it through some people's search website. Sketchy, I don't know. So now I'm officially terrified. I called Ty, showed him the note. He was quiet for a second, then he just said, "Yeah, we gotta go to the police." Seriously. And I finally agreed. I went the next morning, filed a report, showed them everything. The stuff on social media, the note, the Ring camera footage from Reichels, even screenshots of the McDonald's incident in case they needed a timeline. The officer took it seriously. He said at least the note was technically harassment with an implied threat, since it referenced an escalation. We asked about a restraining order, but apparently it's not something instant. There's a hearing, paperwork, evidence. I have an appointment in 2 weeks, so until then, I just have to hope he doesn't come back. I texted the group. Liana cried. Reichel's thinking about staying with her parents for a while. Ben said he's ready to handle this the old school way. I hope he means with punches and not with gangster stuff. And then Itan posted again. I don't follow him, but Ty sent me screenshots. The guy's on Twitter now. He posted a super long thread like, "It's crazy how people pretend to be your friend, get you arrested for an offensive joke, and then try to silence you for speaking out. But don't worry, I have proof. This isn't over." None of this makes sense unless you already believe his version of events, and people do believe him. Strangers in the comments are calling us clout chasers, saying that mental health should never be criminalized like that. I get it. Taken out of context, it probably sounds bad. But those people weren't there. They didn't see him pretend to pee on the McDonald's counter while the teenagers were screaming and running to the back. I even DM'd one of the people who was commenting like, "Hey, just so you know, he's been harassing us. He showed up at my house, the police are involved." And the response I got just said, "Nice try. Hope your boss likes the screenshots." What the heck? So yeah, now I have a police report and I've ordered cameras for my apartment. My parents are begging me to stay with them, but I don't want to change my whole life because of one guy. I'm tired. Everyone in the group is tired. It's like we're all just waiting for him to show up again. And it's not like we can explain this to people outside the group. No one believes that all this started over some chicken nuggets. Update 3. I swear to God, this has to be the last update. I need it to be the last one because if this keeps going, someone's going to do something stupid and it might be me. I'm really at the end of my rope with this. This time it was at Liana's birthday, and I don't say this lightly, it was the worst thing that's happened so far. Quick backstory. Liana has been withdrawn since Itan did the Ring camera thing and all that. She blocked everything, stopped using social media, even stopped coming to hangouts for a while. We all understood. She's one of the kindest people I know, and this whole situation really messed with her. Anyway, her birthday was coming up, and we were trying to decide whether to do something or skip it this year, but she finally texted us saying, "You know what? I don't want to hide from my own life. I want a quiet night with people I trust." So we planned a small party, just the 5 of us, at her cousin's house. Not even her house. It's a private place, out of the way, and no posting. We didn't put anything online, didn't even send the address in the group chat. We shared it individually to avoid anything. The night comes, everything's chill. We're playing board games, eating pizza, and she's laughing again. Then, around 10 p.m., the doorbell rings. Her cousin goes to answer the door and literally says, "Someone's here for another friend." We all freeze. Then we hear his voice. Itan starts yelling from outside the door like, "Wow, this is what you guys do now. Exclude people. Pretend I don't exist." Ben jumps up first, runs to the door, and slams it shut before Itan can get in. Liana's sitting there totally frozen. I go to the window and this lunatic is live streaming, holding up his phone, saying we're hiding like cowards, filming everything like he's an investigative journalist exposing corruption. Ty goes outside. Stupid. I know. But he was tired of yelling at Itan to leave. Itan starts screaming about how we destroyed his life and how everyone will see who we really are. The cousin calls the police. While we're waiting, Itan goes to his car. Yeah, he drove there. He pulls something out of the trunk. I really thought it was a gun. It was a bunch of flyers. The guy printed out papers with our names, screenshots, and a rant about the McDonald's martyrs. And how we're frauds who criminalize mental health for clout. He starts throwing them on the sidewalk, taping them to cars, putting them on light poles like he's running a political campaign, and he's still live streaming when the cops arrive. This time they talked to him for like 2 minutes, then they handcuffed him on the spot. He kept yelling, "I have the right to document abuses, and this is a peaceful protest." The police told us they were arresting him for harassment and violating a restraining order. Apparently, Reichel and I both met the criteria to get one after the last report finally went through. Now he's in custody. I don't know for how long, but we got a call from an officer the next day asking if we would testify if necessary. We all said yes in unison, basically. I wish I could say that it feels good that we're relieved, but that's not how I feel at the moment. Liana cried the rest of the night. Her birthday turned into a scene. We all checked the locks twice. Now I have a baseball bat next to my bed like I'm in a zombie movie, so if an epidemic breaks out, I'm ready. And the worst part of all, people still believe his version. A TikTok comment account reposted the video saying, "Why was this man arrested for unmasking fake friends?" And now we're getting hate messages from strangers again. I really think that day he was possessed. I really start to believe in those things because I can't find an explanation for why he did all this. Update 4. After the incident at the birthday party, Aiden was arrested and spent the night in jail. This time the police really took it seriously because, as I said before, this wasn't just a one-time weird behavior. We had months of evidence, and this time they did take it seriously. I guess this time they couldn't just let it pass. They told us that they were accusing him of harassment, stalking, and other illegal things or something like that. I'm not a lawyer. All I know is that he was not released immediately. In fact, he had to wait a while in custody. We thought that might calm him down. Spoiler, it didn't. While he was in jail, someone else started posting in his name. Yes. He gave access to his Instagram to a girl named Danny, who he used to have something with. She was not part of our group of friends, but apparently still orbited around him. She started posting updates for him, like "Free Aton and the truth will come to light." He reposted the clip of the birthday live with subtitles like, "They laughed while they arrested him in handcuffs." Monsters. I even created a tag. We received messages from people we didn't know. A guy sent me a message calling me a McFascist, as if it were an insult. Rachel was tagged in a TikTok that called her the McDonald's Karen. Ty received a voice call on his DJ line saying, "Your show is over, clown." We started to lose our cool, really lose it. Rachel almost quit her job. Liana moved out of her apartment and went back to live with her mom for a while. Ben was ready to fight someone, and I started deleting everything, social networks, anything that connected me with real life. I disappeared from half the internet. We tried to prepare for court as best we could. We had to give statements, present evidence, all that. The day before the hearing, Liana had a panic attack. We were silent in a Zoom video call, just trying to hold together. Then came the day of court. We arrived early, and Tan arrived late with sunglasses as if he were a celebrity. I swear the guy walked in as if it were a premiere and he was the unjustly accused hero. He even nodded at us as if he was doing us a favor by showing up. The hearing was not dramatic. It was just a slow and boring process of paperwork and testimonies. The judge asked us if we felt threatened, if we had evidence. We gave everything. His lawyer tried to argue that he was mentally ill and only reacting to being marginalized by people he trusted, which sounds sad on paper until you are told the whole story, and it is just pathetic. In the end, the judge issued restraining orders for all 5. He cannot contact us, follow us, tag us, send us private messages, emails, or come within 100 feet of us. Any violation, and he goes straight to jail without questions. He looked at us one last time before leaving the court. He didn't say anything, just shook his head as if we had ruined his life. That was 2 weeks ago. Since then, we have not heard from him again. His Instagram is abandoned. The TikToks disappeared. It has been quiet, too quiet, honestly. But we are trying not to be paranoid. We have started going out again. First just virtual calls, then game nights at Ty's house. Rachel smiles again. Even Ben apologized for how aggressive he was. He said that all this affected him more than he had thought. We are healing, I guess. Slowly, carefully. But this changed us. We no longer trust so easily. We don't add anyone to the group unless everyone agrees. Nothing. Oh, he's fine. I met him at work. Now, bro, you have to pass a background check. I'm still upset that this happened, that we had to go through all that people online believed his stuff just because he told a funnier story, that we almost lost our friendships because of someone who was never really part of the group. But at the same time, this showed us who the real ones are. We went through really crazy things together and we stay together. Addition. I thought I would answer some of the things that people keep asking in the comments and private messages. I appreciate the support, even the crazy jokes about McDonald's. Why didn't they leave him out of the group before? Before he did not have this degree of madness, but anyway, we tried several times. Every time we corrected him, he would let it pass or say that we were too sensitive. And when you meet someone through acquaintances for a while, it's hard to just kick him out without causing drama. The ironic thing is, now look where we are. How did Itan find out about the birthday party if they were being secret? We still don't know for sure. We thought maybe he guessed it based on old habits or got the information through someone we didn't think would leak it. Danny used to be close to some mutual friends. We've reduced that circle of acquaintances a lot since then. And was Tan really mentally ill or just an a-hole? I'm not a professional to diagnose anyone, but I can recognize an a-hole. What we saw is that he was manipulative, attention-seeking, and had no concept of boundaries. He used mental health as a shield every time someone called him out for his behavior, which, honestly, only made it more difficult to talk about mental health in a serious way. The guy is a sympathy artist. That's all I'll say. Why didn't they report him sooner? I guess you haven't read the story because we did and the police said it wasn't enough. A lot of evidence of harassment had to be gathered for the police to say, well, now yes. How is everyone now? Better, honestly, still paranoid. We are careful about what we post, where we go, who we talk to. But our group feels solid again, even stronger. It's crazy how one crazy person can affect your trust like that, but it's also crazy how much closer we get with the people who stayed. Can you post the McDonald's video? Absolutely not. We removed it. Ben took it down the same night after everything got out of control. We don't want more attention, and it honestly just brings back bad memories. Also, the employees didn't deserve that night to become content. They were just trying to do their jobs while a guy was yelling about being anointed with Big Mac blood. No thanks. What flavor of McNugget sauce would you choose to be baptized in? Liana says spicy buffalo. Ty said honey mustard and was killed for it. Ben chose sweet and sear. Rachel refused to answer and just muttered. Trauma. I am ranchera. I have always been ranchera. Thanks again to everyone who cared, made jokes, offered legal advice, or just told us we weren't crazy. The craziest thing of all is that all this started because a guy lost a screw at 1 a.m. at McDonald's. Moral of the story. If someone ever yells, I want to be baptized in sauce in a public place, get out of there. Update 5. Itan has been completely arrested along with his girlfriend Danny or whatever that woman was who accompanied that satanic psychopath who liked to make love to chickens. But not because of us. And after spending 5 years in prison, 1 year for Danny, he will not come after us to tell us that we betrayed him. This is what little I know. After a group meeting where we tried to figure out everything that has happened with Itan, apparently Itan was with Princess Satan in his car when he had a traffic argument. That was the worst day for the other person. Itan not only argued with him at several of the traffic lights, but followed him to his house, and when he saw him getting off there, he threw a stone through the window that hit that person's wife. The guy came out after calling 911 and had a fist fight with Ita, where Ita did not win. While the ambulance and police were arriving, Danny entered the house and wanted to steal things she found, but was stopped by the wife who was stopping the blood from her head, but she was still able to face her. In the end, he was arrested when the police arrived, and this time he didn't have time to say anything, because the beating from the victim's husband was such that there is a rumor that there are still teeth in the front yard. Ben said that if it had been him, he would now wear a necklace with his own. There was a new trial, and this time he was sentenced along with Donnie to the times that I already mentioned at the beginning of the update. Ty went to witness the day of the reading of the verdict, but he was all the time looking at Itan to see if he smiled, but it never happened. The good thing for us is that he is locked up, so our life is even more normal. Also, we have the confidence that when he comes out AO, he will want to harass the guy who left him eating gruel. If there is one thing we learned from Ita, it is that he is an intense and obsessive person. He becomes obsessed with one thing and doesn't let go. Before it was with us, and now with that poor man who defended his wife. The only bad thing is that the husband still received a fine and community service, but at least he was able to avoid having a record for the mouth surgery without anesthesia. Itan, I don't think I have more to tell you. If I do, I will edit here. But I think that has been it for the moment. Addition. We know that Itan is in a prison place for cuckoo people. In the end, he was not only an a-hole as I thought, but I am not a professional. But I do not think that being crazy is mutually exclusive with being an a-hole. My friend thought it would be funny to mess with the McDonald's staff, but when he got arrested, he blamed us, and now he's trying to ruin our friend group. I'm 23, a guy, and I have a group of friends I've been close to since high school. Some have come and gone over the years, but there are about 6 of us who are still tight. Me, Yost, Ty, Ben, Liana, and Reichel. We get together pretty regularly, game nights, going to bars, the usual stuff. We send memes in the group chat. Nothing too crazy. Then there's Itan. He wasn't part of the original group, but he joined through Ty, who met him at work. Itan's 24, and at first he was cool, kind of loud, but funny. He always had a story to tell, always up for going out. He brought a new energy at first, but the more we got to know him, the more we realized something wasn't right. He was the kind of person who would laugh way too hard when someone fell down. He'd start arguments just for fun. He'd make jokes that weren't really jokes. He'd make everyone uncomfortable and then tell us to stop being so sensitive. That kind of person.